So let's have a look at this example. It says here, design a class to represent a rectangle. So the first hint we are having is rectangle, which is the name of the class. Think about attributes and methods of rectangle. So in this question, the attributes and methods are not specified, so it's up to us. We have to think about rectangle. What are the suitable attributes we should have? What are the suitable methods? And then we have to use the answer to write a UML class diagram. So my answer should include UML class diagram. And also I should give two examples of instances of this class. So let's do it together. The first thing I have to start with, I have to have the UML class diagram. So I will have to have rectangle. And I have to divide it into three parts. At the top, I have to mention the class name. So in this case, I will say rectangle. This is the name of my class. At the middle section, I have to think about suitable attributes. So we know that this class will represent a rectangle. Usually for a rectangle, what do we have? We just have the width and the length. So it means that these are the attributes we will have. So I will have an attribute, I will call it width. Another attribute, I will call it as length. Now, we need these attributes to be private, so I have to say minus. And I have to specify the data type. And the data type, I'll have to say colon, and then I will say double. And again, I will have colon here, and I will say double. So I'm done with the attributes. Now what I need also, we need methods. So I will have to go to the last section. So let's just redraw this again. So I will have to say I have a plus, and I will have methods. And the first method I will need is a set method. So let's call it set R or set rectangle. We will open the brackets. What kind of data we need? We need the data for width, and we need another value for length. So I need two values of type double. So it means I will have to say double, comma, and then double again. Because set method will return nothing, so I will just say colon and void. If I have this rectangle, I need some time to return the value of the width and to return the value of the length. So I will say plus get width, let's call it get W, plus get L for get length. Both of them, they will take no parameter, but each one of them separately, it will return double. So I will have to say should be having double value, and the other one should be having double value as well. I can have, for example, a method to calculate area, because usually when we have shapes like rectangle, oval, circle, we need, for example, calculating the area. So I will say plus. I will call the method as get area. And get area, all what I need is I have to do the calculation of the method, and I will return the area. So I will take no parameters, because simply the coding inside it will be multiplying width by length. And then because I'm multiplying width by length, double by double, it means the return will be as double as well. Now, if this is my UML class diagram, so this is the UML class diagram, I need now to show examples. I need to show instances. So the way we have to do it with instances, I'll have to say I should have two sections, and I'll have to give a name. For example, I will say the name of my object is R1, and then I will say colon, and it's of type rectangle. And I will have two attributes. I will have width, and I will have length equal, and I just give some value. So for example, I will say the length as 24.5, the length for example as 10.68. Just give any values that are double values. And similarly, you can create another object by saying I have another object R2 of type rectangle. Again, I will have two attributes, private attributes, width and length. For example, 40 and 20, and 0.0, which indicates this is a double value. So let's look at the second slide because it will be much clearer or much in a good way. So in the rectangle UML class, they have defined the following. Width and length, double and double, just like the way we did. Minus, it means private. The method they have a set R, get width, get length, and get area. And with the set, we have double values as parameters, void as a return. For get width and length, double values. For get area, the return is double because we calculate the area. Examples of objects or instances, they call it R1 and R2, and they have width and length, and they just have sample data. We have another example here. It says here, design a class to represent a book. So I have book as a class name. I will have to think about attributes about book, and I have to think about behaviors, which means some methods. And then we have to draw a UML class diagram, and we have to give two examples of instances. So we have this is as a sample answer. So I have UML class again as rectangle of 3 parts. Book is the name of the class. I have private attributes, title, author name, publisher, number of copies. Again, because attributes, they were not exactly mentioned within the question, so you can give any attribute you think it's suitable. You may say, I need only the title and author. You may say, I need the title and publisher. So think about what kind of suitable data. So here they mention that title will be string, author name is a string, publisher string, number of copies, how many copies I have is an integer. And according to these private attributes, we have the following public method. So I have the set. It will take string, long, integer. String, string. We have a small mistake here. So this has been changed. Now set a book, because I have title, author name, publisher, and number of copies, 3 string and integer. So I will say set book. I'll have to take 3 string and integer, and because it's a set, so I will return nothing. Additionally, they have a set individually. So set title only for the title. So set title only for the title. That's why it will take string and will return nothing. Set author only for the author, which is a string again, and set publisher string and return nothing. We have also a get name, which is a returning string, get ID, get number of copies, that will return long and ID. And we have increment number of copies. This is just like saying if I need to just change this number by saying a plus, then I will take an integer and return void again. So again, remember, these are up to your understanding of the class. What do you need? And based on that, you can specify the operations and attributes. Now, just like examples of objects, you can say I have Java book. This is the object, and it belongs to the book class. We have title, and between double quotation I will have the name. Author name, between double quotation I will have the name. Publisher, number of copies. We have again C++ book, which is having the title, an author name, publisher, all of these between double quotation because they are a string. number of copies as an integer. We have this question which is actually taken from a midterm exam, and it says here, design a class to represent a product. The main attributes of this class are name, price, and code. You have to draw a UML class diagram with the given attributes and suitable methods. Then you have to show one instance of this class. So here the question is specifying what kind of attributes we have. So we have, So we have name, we have a price, we have code, and the name of the class is a product. So how about I give you like 1 to 2 minutes. Try to draw the UML class diagram. So remember we need two things. We need the UML class diagram, and also I need the instance, one instance of the class. So let's try doing together. So we will have the following. The UML class, we will have the name of the class as product. The attributes, I will have 3 attributes. I will have name, we will have price, and we will have code. And then we will have a public methods. When it comes to the data type, I'll have to say colon, and I have to mention the data type. So always we know that name, usually they are defined of type string, a price a double value. And when it comes to the code, for products, we can have code, for example, like 1, 2, 3, 6, 8, a very long number. So we can have the data type here as long. Sometimes the code is it's more like barcode. So for example, we have 1, 3, A, B, C, 6, 8. So because I have characters, then I will have to define it as a string. It's totally up to us. We can have it as long or a string. But once we go and specify the instance, we have to do the matching of the data type. So we can say we will have it as long. And then when it comes to instance, we will just give a long number. Then I will have a method, public method, which is set. And I will have string for name. I will have price. I will have double and long. And we expect to return nothing, so I'll say colon void. I will have get, so I will say get name. I'm expecting no parameters, but I have to return string. I will say plus get price. Again, I'm expecting no parameters, but the return in this case will be as double. Also, I will say get code. we have no parameters, but the return type will be as long. So if I mentioned that here the data type is long for code, the return here will be long. If we mention it is a string, it means the return type should be as a string. So this is our UML class diagram with the 3 sections. Now for the instance, we will have this is instance. So I will say I have, for example, X. This is of type product. And I will have the following. I will have the name of the product equal. I will have the price of the product. And then I will have code. So for name, for example, I will say chair between double quotation because a string. Price, for example, I will say 30.500. When it comes to the long, again, because when it comes to the code, we define it of type long. So for example, I will say 3861411286. Any long number, I will not include any characters. And you can have any other instance. Just remember to specify the data type.